to resume the recording, and I'm going to pass it over to you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll set you the host. Have a good meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, it is 5:31 and we will open the meeting for the TC Passios Building Design Committee. I will open with a few opening remarks. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast over the Lunenburg Public Access Channel. The town of Lunenburg, in response to the COVID-19 coronavirus, is currently following the guidance from the Lunenburg Board of Health, Massachusetts Department of Public Health, and the CDC regarding the virus and steps communities can take to prevent the spread. And all town facilities are currently open on a limited basis to the public. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, all public meetings are being conducted remotely. This meeting will be recorded and be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel within 24 hours after the meeting. The following information is also provided for the members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link below, which was provided on the agenda, to join the public webinar. From a telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter the webinar ID 834-8442-6926 and then the pound sign. The agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by open meeting law. And I will now call the roll. Dave Passios.
Here.
Dave Blatt.
Here.
Ryan Leighton.
Here.
And I am here. I do not see anybody else, and I do not see anybody in the waiting room. So I'll try to keep monitoring that. Okay, so 4 of us tonight, which is a quorum, so we will continue. Is there any public comment from the public?
Hi,
Yes, ma'am.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. I just wanted to take a minute and say congratulations on a great presentation at town meeting. I was there. Did a nice job. I think you definitely delivered the message that needed to be sent out. The handouts were great. And of course, happy to see that there's still space in there for the pantry. And just want to say that at any point, if we need to engage in further conversation for questions on both sides, please let me know.
Have you had any feedback from anybody that you've crossed circles with that has seen it or was at town meeting?
Actually, no. I mean, a couple people just know that, we've been following along and hoping that we had a space in there, and people are thinking it's going to be a great, place for us if it does work out. I've shared with fellow Lions, of course, there's some excitement, but we also know that there's a lot of hurdles to still get through before anything is,
Yep.
set in stone. So, but it's a nice little pipe dream.
No, that's good. No, just interested always in keeping a pulse on the community. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. So thank
you
you very much. I'm going to listen in, but I won't be on video.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't see any other members of the public, so I'll open it up to public comment from the board, from the committee.
Only thing I have is that report from the Boys and Girls Club is were disappointed, but they understood.
Okay.
Uh,
I was disappointed too. I hope they caught the fact that that was, for me at least, kind of not a pleasant decision to have to make. And I hope they didn't see it as a no. I really, truly, I think I stated it in the meeting. I hope they didn't see it as a, in any way of projecting a no confidence in the organization or something like that. I really, that's not what we were trying to, and I think they saw that. I just wanted to, I'm really bummed that it didn't work out.
Right. Well, the thing for them is it was kind of that, what you say, it was kind of what they needed was an all or nothing. And the problem was it couldn't be all. I mean, well, it couldn't, but just being something like a room or two wasn't going to help them, because that's their issue today, is being spread out all over the town. And that really wouldn't have solved anything. So, so they're still in the same boat. They realize they can use a meeting room every afternoon if they had to, or something like that, that kind of thing, if they wanted to. So.
Okay, well, thanks for that report, Dave. Appreciate it.
Okay.
I just have one thing. I had a quick call this afternoon with our new DPW director, Rob Alva, who's starting to prepare for discussions at the capital planning committee. Dave, are you still on that committee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. We'll be meeting in second week of December, I believe.
Yeah, next week, right? So he was just trying to bring himself up to speed, because he's new in town. He was just trying to bring himself up to speed with sort of what our finished product was intending to be, because there's a lot of things sort of dangling regarding the TCP from a capital standpoint. So he was just trying to get his arms around that. So Dave, it'll be interesting to kind of see where that discussion goes as you guys dive into that process, and how it overlays with this process. So I just bring that up.
Yeah, as I had stated in one of our meetings early on, the capital planning committee, and I brought it up a couple of times at capital planning, that I hope that the DPW would come in, or actually facilities, which is under DPW, would come in with a project to protect these buildings as we work through the process of renovating, or what we're deciding to do with them, and fix any small things that will save us thousands of dollars a year from now.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting, as you say, to see what he comes out with.
Yeah, I had remembered that conversation, Dave, and I had gave him a quick summary of that sentiment.
Yep.
I also encouraged him to reach out to you because I knew that you were on the committee. So I don't know. I don't know if he has a way to get a hold of you, but
Yeah, I haven't checked my mail in the last day.
yeah, he may rub elbows with you, particularly after he introduces himself formally at a meeting with you. So anyway, just thought I'd let you know.
Great, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Brian, Dave? Okay. Okay, so I just thought we'd get a quick update from the design team. I don't see this as necessarily needing to be a very long meeting. I know we're sort of we're hitting the go button on the next stage here, but I guess particularly I'm interested in starting to get a handle on key milestones, I guess, if you have them, or if you don't, that maybe next time we could get a little bit of an update and revised schedule. I know your schedule has, our process has interjected into your schedule and influenced how your delivery timelines and things. And so I just am interested in sort of a look ahead. I think certainly in anticipation of presenting something at the Springtown meeting, and just seeing how that fits in. So that's sort of the first thing. And then secondly, on my agenda with this item is just to hear, I think there might be some dangling chads out there of information that particularly Ed might be looking for from the town. I just want to make sure I capture those and see if I can help facilitate and chase any of that stuff down. And any input that you need any input you need from the town, or staff, or any input that you need from this committee. I guess I'm just interested in.
Great. Thank you, Greg. And actually, right before Thanksgiving, we received on the traffic study side two missing pieces of info that we had been asking for. The DPW was able to get through MassDOT the traffic signalization data we were looking for, and then Heather connected us with the school department, who was able to fill in the table we had about the daily occupants at the TCP building. So
Okay.
we got all that, which was very helpful right before Thanksgiving. So we're in the process now over the next week to finish the traffic study.
Great. Yeah, your question to the DPW came at the week that we transitioned from our retiring DPW director to our new one. So
Yeah.
the timing couldn't have been worse. I saw your email to Jack and I'm like, oh, I think it was the hiring.
Well, the new director helped us out, so that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually have known Rob for about 20 years, and he's a class act guy. So
Great. That's great.
So
Thank you.
it's not surprising that he helps you out right away. So I'll give you guys the floor.
Okay, we actually have a proposed list of agendas and deliverables.
Okay,
So
great.
let me see if I can do a screen share.
I have to give you that ability. Hold on here. And,
Or if you want to, yeah, it might be.
yeah, because then you can control it. How do I do this here? I'll put this one here. Okay, you should be able to do it now.
Okay, so do you see the proposed agenda?
Yes.
Okay, so the next phase is for us is really to get more information to develop the documentation for the costs, construction costs, and the soft cost estimate. And so I would just quickly go over. There are some meetings that we think we need, and then we can go over the sequence or how often we need to meet and so forth. So tonight, which is meeting number 10, we talk about the objective and for the deliverables based on the contract for civil engineering, they will continue to develop the site plan or multiple site plans. Architecture-wise, drawing-wise, we're going to have, instead of those color diagrams, we will have the demolition plans, proposed plans showing doors, partition types, and so forth, exterior elevations. And we also will have product information by the CSI format, meaning that we will have descriptions of the different types of, say, ceilings or flooring or wall types and so forth. As far as the engineering disciplines, is going to be design narratives. Civil engineering also will have a design narrative to supplement the plans. We will continue to update the building code. We have discovered that during the schematic design that we are now categorized as the level 3 under the renovations, which is because of the extensiveness of the renovations. So that means that there are implications on not just the architectural, but also the different engineering disciplines. And so we need to give you an update and what that means, and that also has an impact on the cost. After we go through the meetings, we can fine tune on the project schedule. The next sheet, we're going to have some components that we will need to discuss with you moving forward on both the exterior and the interior. And also we will have to review with you for the prototypical rooms, and we have a chart that we got started on the next page. So this is kind of the design development kickoff meeting tonight, and we need to go back to the town representatives to just get some more information. Granted that those plans that they looked at were smaller scale, we want to show them as far as identifying have them buy in on the different finishes, doors, door hardware, anything that has different, has a potential cost implication. We know that for meeting rooms and conference rooms, we need to have the AV components, which means that we need to make sure that there's, when our cost estimator budget things, that there is enough money for additional electrical or cabling type cost. And the next, when we meet again, we like to show you more developed site plans. We know that we talked about different toilet configurations, and we have done the building occupancy count, which means that we can now, the engineers are looking at the plumbing count, and with that information, we can say, okay, we can eliminate a toilet, or we can add the family toilet and so forth. So the engineers are still working on that information. And if we decided to meet with the department heads first, we're going to update you on those meetings. Typically, we like to show you some images instead of the final drawings, just to make sure that we're on the same page. It may not be our design projects, but we want to see if pictures speak 1,000 words. So we want to make sure that we're on the same page as far as moving forward, because those will be the little bit more a higher profile, shall we say, for the design work. They might cost a little bit more because they are entries or departmental entries. We like to review that with you, and then that would be design development meeting number 2, and then meeting number 3 would be the refinement of those documents, those drawings. But we also want to start talking about just finalizing on the project scope. Alternates for pricing. We may want to keep the base project cost low, but then there might be some items that the committee feel that are secondary, but we want it to be priced. We also want to confirm with you what the assumptions are for the cost estimator. For example, we want to say the construction start time is such and such a year, because then there will be inflation costs that we need to put into our calculations, and what is going to be in the construction budget, what is not. At the same time, there will be furniture furnishings that need to be part of the soft costs, and we need to clarify if the town is going to reuse existing furniture systems or buy new, that type of thing. We need to talk with the committee. And the following meeting would be look at a preliminary budget, and we might need to, usually there are more discussions after the draft budget comes out, so we might need maybe meeting 4A after we look at the preliminary budget. Nobody is ever happy with any budget ever since I proposed a budget, so I'm being realistic here that we might have something at the third meeting, but chances are we need to go back and forth a few times. And then finally, our intent is to wrap up the report by the end of January 2021 with the report, the plans, narratives, and the cost that is approved by the committee, plus all the supplemental documents that we are going to use for the report, that we will have all that information in one document. Ed, are there something you'd like to add, or did I cover?
Well, that was great, Tom. Yeah, just to tack on to what you were saying, the final deliverable to the town, as Thomas mentioned, is a consolidated report. So all the work that you've seen previously done, all the spreadsheets, the schematic design, now the design development documents, the cost estimate, the existing conditions report, which we had previously submitted a draft on, all of those reports and all the other reports like hazmat, the phase 1 environmental, traffic, they're all going to be pulled together into one comprehensive report. So it'll all be in one place. So it'll memorialize the entire project, and all the documents will be in a nicely organized report. And that's what we're planning to have delivered by the end of January.
Okay.
And should we talk about the meeting frequency next, before we switch to the next sheet, which is really some of the prototypical rooms that we will be discussing later on?
Sure.
Granted that we are about to hit the holiday season, so
So you're basically saying 4 meetings between now and the beginning of January is what you'd like? First week in January?
yeah, or maybe a second. So
Okay. Or does tonight count as the first one?
right, yeah,
Okay. So 3 meetings, 2 meetings in 2 meetings in December and 1 meeting in early January. Plus maybe another one after that to refine the budget.
Right.
Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Yep.
I mean, that's fine with me. I mean, I think we typically try to meet at least twice a month, and that seems like it would jive okay. I know we're going into the holidays. We're certainly not going to meet between Christmas and New Year's, but it seems like we could accommodate that. You know, given our, that we'll still have our standard scheduling conflicts, I'm sure, but that seems fine with me. I understand that we have to. Has Heather reached out to you, Tom, or Ed, about how we're going to pay for these?
She has not, but within the contract, there's a list of time and material labor rates.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm sure you've seen the emails we've been.
Yeah, I'm kind of relying on Heather to do that as procurement officer, so I'll try to
Yeah.
probe her a little bit, or prod her a little bit, I should say.
Yeah. So that's already built into the contract, those rates for the meetings, the
Oh,
extra.
okay. Yeah. I mean, I mean, we got to get that squared away. That goes without saying, but I'm going to rely on Heather for that. But assuming we get that squared away with Heather, and I'm fine with that proposal. Does anybody else on the committee have any input in that?
Greg, that on 3 more meetings you're talking about, or?
Yeah, just in what Tom has proposed in terms of meeting points, or
Yeah, I
anybody.
think that's good. If we can be, done with this phase of the project by second week of January, that'll give us some time to get the final numbers digested, and then start the outreach for
Yep.
the Springtown meeting.
And Springtown meeting is May, correct?
Yes.
I mean, normally, I know
Normally about the 3rd weekend in May, roughly, something like that.
and the warrant is probably going to close sometime in April.
I would think so, yes. It's usually early April.
So that gives us February, March. I mean, yeah, that should be good. Seems good. I think it's good. It seems great to me to think that we're going to have, we'll have the bulk of this behind us by the end of January. Seems like it would fit in nicely with our idea of having enough time to do community outreach, and enough time certainly to prep and prepare for Springtown meeting. So I think that, to me, that sounds good.
Yeah, Greg, I don't know if you saw it or not, but there's a message up, warrant closes first Saturday in May.
Oh, okay. First Saturday in May. So we have 3 months, really.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. First Saturday in May is the town meeting, the warrant closes in mid-March.
Mid-March. Okay. Well, even in that, with respect to that, that still gives us, month and a half to, and we can be planning community outreach in in January even, so.
Right, and the outreach will continue after the warrant closes. It's just
Absolutely.
the warrant
Absolutely.
closing is one of
Yeah.
those key deadlines that we need to be ready for.
Yep, I think that's fine. Honestly, you probably don't even have to have the final dollar amount by that point, but it sounds like we're gonna have it anyway, so I think, yeah, okay. All right, sounds good.
So, hey, Greg, just
Yeah.
one concern for myself is I definitely will not be able to make the week of January 4th.
Okay,
I'm gone that week.
Yeah.
But other than that, and the only other thing would be is just looking at making sure we're not pushing the exterior, the interior exterior concepts, being able to have some trade-offs there on what we're doing. I'm hoping we're not trying to condense the time frame just and not give ourselves a chance to maybe meet. I'm wondering if we need to meet once ourselves after the next meeting to kind of talk about what we're thinking about cost-wise and things of that sort.
yeah. Okay, that's good feedback. I think that's probably not a bad idea. Have a working session with the committee and with the committee only, just so we can kind of talk candidly about that. That's not a bad idea.
So from our standpoint, if we can, after the day, if we send an email out to the different department heads and essentially continuing the discussion we have to talk about details, and the following week and then the week of December 14th, we report back to the committee and start talking about design concepts, and we can refine those the concepts. After you look at different images, you might think one is appropriate, one is not. One of the things that I still remember when we were either during the interview or the very first meeting is the whole, we got to create some sort of a signage, some sort of a cohesive language for the new building, which can be done in multiple ways. We want to somehow have that discussion, and also however we want to decide on the outside, it really should be carried onto the inside. So I think I agree with Dave that we need to get that ball rolling and give the committee time to kind of internally make that discussion so we can implement that. And as I said in many interviews, that our job is not to design for you. Our job is to turn your vision into reality. So we'll show you different images and just see what you're thinking of and draw and create the design that would be most fitting for this project. So that said, I'm just wondering if after the second meeting, if we should continue to meet the following week, because
That seems quick to me.
yeah, and then
Seems like we might want to meet, we might want to try to squeeze a committee only workshop in there. And then punt that meeting to the beginning of January as soon as we can get it.
So it's almost like our design development meeting number 3 would be the week of January 4th.
Yeah, it almost seems to me just to build a little bit more time into the schedule. That seems to me to be more reasonable. I think Dave Blatt's right. I think we don't want to rush. I mean, we don't want to. I certainly don't want to lengthen the time frame more than we need to, but we also don't want to rush that process. So, yeah, it seems to me like meeting the shooting for something in 2 weeks with the whole group, with committee and design team, and then the week after we have a working session, the week before Christmas, and then we come back. We try to, well, everything's recorded, so you can review it, but you can review our working session notes and have a couple weeks then to digest that prior to the next meeting in early January, and then kind of be off to the races. Seems to me that's Is that what you're thinking, Dave Blatt?
That's correct. Yes, sir. That's what I was
And,
thinking. It's
and
just-
we'll try to find a time that works for you. I get you gone. We want you here too, so.
Well, no, I mean, that's fine. I can, and that was the other thing is that if I looked at it is then it kind of makes it so we don't have to have a very, the meeting ourselves. We're not having that discussion on the 14th.
Yeah,
I don't see a time for us to have that discussion
yeah,
of looking at the cost estimator, discussing it, figuring out what we want to do. And I want to
Yeah.
make sure that's got everybody on it.
and also I think that after they present us a cost, and we could talk about this in January, but after they present us a preliminary cost estimate, we might want to have a working session with just the committee at that point as well. And kind of hammer that through. And then have a group meeting again with everybody to refine it.
Right.
Greg,
Because
is
as
the
you- as you-
intention to bring to the May town meeting the final project price?
Yes,
Okay.
we want to do, I mean, this is my opinion, we want to present a funding article
Mhm.
at the Springtown meeting. I mean, at least that's our goal. We want to present a town meeting article that we can vote on to receive funding.
Mhm.
I have to think through, we're gonna have to think through the second part of that, which is with the town manager about how it's funded and what kind of vote we need at a poll vote after that, and how that all plays into, but I think our goal at this point is to be ready to go with that for Springtown meeting.
Okay.
Does anybody disagree from the committee?
No, I think that's definitely our target, and I agree. We've got to make sure we make the dates for the ballot question also, because that's a whole nother thing on our end that we need to make sure happens.
Right. But this schedule either way seems, yeah, I don't know when the ballot closes. Maybe we'll get another chat
I would agree.
on that, but we'll, and we haven't even decided what the process is, so we'll have to work through that. But it seems like either way, even if we slide a couple weeks, 3-4 weeks, we still have margin in the schedule to meet those time constraints. So I think that's.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that you're getting the final, kind of working backwards, knowing that the warrant closes mid-March.
Yeah.
We need to wrap up the report, which will have the final cost estimates. So
Yeah.
if we wrap it up at the end of January, that it seems like that'll work for you, because that gives February some more time for internal town discussions then.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but I guess what I'm saying, even if we're tweaking even if we're nickel and diming you, for lack of a better word, cost estimate in February, we'll still have time to, we can get ready for the funding article and then just plug in the final number.
Okay,
We have some slop in the schedule, which I'm thankful for.
okay, great.
That's good.
Yeah, and just looking back that, so what we put down, meeting number 3 is really going to be the week of January 4th. And I think that at that point, I will have all the basis of design, everything in place. So I think we won't have any cost estimate won't be that close. So I would propose that the following meeting will submit the draft cost estimate. So it might be, say, the week of the 18th of January, and then if the committee wants to meet again internally for meeting the following week, and then we can meet again to kind of finalize that.
Okay, so you're talking,
So we're still talking about the end of January to have the final cost, but
yeah, okay, I get you. So you're talking about 12-14 whole group, 12-21, we'll just do a committee only group to talk about what you present in the December 14th meeting. Then in the first week, somewhere around January 4th, we'll do the whole group. Not cost estimate, that'll just be for you to kind of dial in your and kind of, keep going with the design process with input from the group, from the committee. 118 then will be another whole group meeting, and that will be where you present the preliminary cost estimate.
Yep, that's when I need bodyguards. I want to make sure it's a remote meeting.
Yeah,
I can't imagine. It wouldn't be. So, and then somewhere the next week, around the 25th of January, the group might want to schedule a workshop. And then we'd meet as soon as we can after that to finalize the cost estimate.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That sounds fine with me. We'll talk about exact timing on the schedule a little later, I guess, but on the meeting schedule.
So the other thing is, this is a prototype, a chart that we started, and essentially we identified there are different components like departmental entries, corridors, offices, open office areas, conference rooms. Oh, corridors got copied twice. Different staff areas, and then so we want to start having a conversation with different departments going through these type of rooms and what they have in mind. It doesn't, obviously the committee can overrule them, but that's the kind of conversation we want to get back to them. And we may not be able to have all the conversations next week. So I think having the meeting the week of the 14th will give us some room to at least get information from the staff and report back to the committee.
I think the finishes are really easy, Tom. We want really, really good quality for really, really cheap. If that happen, that'd be great. We'll be on board.
What do they call that? Lipstick on a pig type of thing? Yeah.
Now, there are custom color lipsticks and there are
Yes.
standard colors. And there are organic lipsticks, so it depends.
Yeah, I get it.
Honestly, I think finishes are going to be the least of our financial issues.
Yeah. Well, you can get pretty carried away with finishes though. So I think,
It'll be painted walls primarily.
yeah.
We also want to present to the committee as far as the outside would be how we're going to create a new image or enhance the image of the building itself by using light fixtures, or we might want to clad the existing canopy or doing some metal work or signage. So we need to show you at the next meeting different images to describe what we have in mind, and so we can have a conversation then. Same thing with the side entrances, that it should be similar, but obviously not the same as the front entrance. So we just want to have that conversation with the committee. And when it comes to windows, I mean, they're aluminum or vinyl, so we need to present to you what the cost differential, at least the pros and cons. So we are going to do some of the homework in terms of product technical information and also images for the meeting on the week of the 14th.
Okay.
So should we set up a time for the meeting on the week of December 14th, or is it premature?
No, we can do that now. There's a future meeting task in the agenda, but there's no sense in not doing it now.
What week we on? We're on the week of the,
Why don't we do what I've done before and do, I'll poll the audience here. Hold on one second. Let me get prepped for this. We don't have everybody here. Okay, so Dave Passios The week of, what days are you available? Monday, the 14th, Tuesday, the 15th, Wednesday, the 16th, or Thursday, the 17th?
I've got in my mind that I've already got a meeting on the 14th. I wouldn't want to be, pushed up against that. So I'm thinking Tuesday, the 15th.
Tuesday is the only one that would work?
I haven't got a calendar in front of me, but I think I'd probably have finance committee that Thursday. So Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday, okay.
So this is the third week of the month, right? Then,
This would be yes.
okay.
Okay, so it won't be finance committee. Is that second and fourth, I believe.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up the town calendar while I'm talking with you guys.
Yeah, I think I can now that we're not screen sharing.
Yes. Brian, Brian's not good for Wednesday. We know that for sure, so. And then
Well,
Tuesday, we lose
Dave
Michael Ray.
Blatt, you're next.
Um,
Dave Blatt.
That one looks like an open one for me. So that week actually looks good. I'm actually in
All 4
town.
days are good for you?
I'm good for any day that week. I prefer the Thursday. Because I think I might have a Boys and Girls Club meeting that week. But
Okay.
Thursday be good.
And let me just let me circle back to Dave. So Dave, it does not look like, FinCom looks like it's the 12th.
I'm just pulling up the calendar now.
Sorry, that's November. Shoot.
Yeah, I was going to say the 12th didn't look right because it looks like a Saturday.
Yeah, there's nothing on the December calendar yet that I can see. So we're looking for the 17th.
You know what? Put me down for any day except the 14th, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right, Brian.
So that Wednesday I'm unavailable at 7 o'clock, but other than that, I'm free.
So Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
That's fine.
And I probably can do any
Wednesday.
day. I don't think I have the 14th sounds pretty familiar. But geez, I don't have anything on there. But I think I have a meeting that night.
The PTO meeting that night.
I have a meeting on Tuesday night. I have a meeting on the 15th. But it's not until 7:45. But so I could do Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it looks like Thursday is the day.
So I guess it's really confirming that with Michael Ray and Matt.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Michael Ray's caught at work, he said. I could try to text him.
Well, that's all right. Just put it as the date. Let's just put it as that Thursday and see if they can make it.
Let's tentatively plan for that, and I will wait to see if Michael Ray gets back to me. I don't know how to get a hold of Matthew Allison other than emailing, so.
Yeah,
Just
you
let
guys,
us know.
just to keep in mind, no, that's not going to affect us all that much unless somebody gets stuck at work again. Okay, yeah, that works out okay.
Okay,
I usually like to schedule things earlier in the week, so if something goes wrong, then they can always move it to the end of the week. But
I know. I mean, Monday didn't work for you, Dave, but I mean, we could do Monday.
I can make it. I can make it work.
I mean, I'm happy to stick with Mondays. I just don't think, I think that might be, no, the planning board's second and fourth, so that should work for theoretically, that should work for Matt. The 14th. Do we want to try the 14th?
Yeah. Why don't you just, you can
wanna
start
do-
with 14th.
You want to
works.
do, you want to do both of those? I hate to do,
No.
but we could do one, the working session, and not have to do it the next week.
Or you could do both and cancel the second one if you need to.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. If we schedule the 14th and the 17th, and then we don't need the
Okay.
second one, we just cancel it.
And you might actually, thinking back, you might be better off because the next week's the week of Christmas. So,
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So we could actually get that working session done on the 17th.
okay, have
And
time
we
to
can
go
have-
shopping.
And then
That
we
could
could
be
have
the-
3 weeks, then we could have 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
All right, let's try that, see how it goes with the other two. All right, that sound good?
Yep.
Tom?
Great.
Yep.
So
Okay.
5:30?
It works for me, because if I have a meeting at, my public meetings that for work would be usually 7 or later, so, or 7:30. So even if I have a conflict, I can get a good hour and a half or 2 hours in usually. If it works for other people, it works for me.
Yeah, now that, I've had capital planning meetings that have been starting at 5:15 and I've been able to make those. So I'm okay
Okay.
anywhere between 5 and 5:30.
It seems like it's working. It's a little bit of a pain for Michael Ray, I know, but we gotta stick with something. So let's stick with it. And so Monday, the 14th, Thursday, the 17th at 5:30. And then let's pick up we'll schedule the January one later. Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right. Good.
I don't know if Ed has anything else.
No, I think we covered the items we were going to discuss.
Okay.
Quick question, if I could.
Yes, sir.
I'm not real familiar with the levels, as you said, we've done, because of the extent of the renovations that we're doing, we're at level 3. Are we deeply into level 3? In other words, could we be on the fringes and make some adjustments that would bring us down a peg, or should we just, that's what it is and we go with that?
Level 3 in the international, it's the IEBC code for existing buildings.
Yep.
And level 3 is when you do work in more than 50% of the building area. And we're basically, when you think about all the different design disciplines, we're touching all the architectural finishes. We're running new ductwork and mechanical systems throughout the whole building. So we're touching more than 50% of the building. We're removing some partitions. So that puts you into work level 3. It means different things for different design disciplines. It means the architects need to look more into certain life safety issues. Structural have to look at wind and seismic. The MEP guys have to look at fire suppression and some other issues that are in their discipline. But it also means we have to comply with level 1 and level 2 in the code, which has its own little requirements depending on the design discipline as well. And then the new roof triggers its own set of more structural issues because we're replacing the whole roof. So
basically it is what it is.
it is what it is. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it seems like if we're going to put this much money into a building, I know we don't have a cost estimate yet, but if we're going to put a significant amount of cost into a building, we want to be darn well sure that it's, we're going to get some good life out of it. So
We're not fixing leaks in the roof after 6 years.
yeah, exactly. So if the being at level 3 helps us, it sort of makes those decisions for us, I think that's not a bad idea, not a bad thing.
Yep. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions from the committee members for Tom or Ed? Okay. So Tom and Ed, are you satisfied then that you have enough information from the committee and the town at this point to get you to where you need to be on the 14th? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Great. So I have our standard placeholder for community outreach. We did our first big community outreach event 2 weeks ago at town meeting. And people even clapped. So I think we discussed, I see this really ramping up as we get into January and getting more of a cost I think that's when the dialogue is really going to start to ramp up and when we're going to want to really, and when we have some plans to present. But I'm happy to take any comments from anybody relative to.
Question, Greg, I had a question about, do you know if the town posted the slides or the presentation?
I don't think that they did. I just looked today.
Yeah, I took a look and I couldn't find it. But
Yeah,
was
I gotta
wondering if we
ask.
share that. We had
I gotta
talked about
ask.
potentially sharing that information,
Yeah,
even on Facebook or getting it out
That-
there so people could see it.
that may have been my fault. I may have needed to respond to something that I didn't. So I'll follow up with Heather on that. Okay, anything else?
If we can get the file uploaded, I'd be willing to share the link out on Facebook groups if the committee is willing. I don't want to do any communications with it, just as a matter, no conversation about it, but just sharing the link. And if people ask about our meetings, I can address people towards the meetings, but I don't want to get in conversation, obviously.
Do we want to just use current Facebook page, currently established Facebook pages for social media, or do we want to try to establish our own?
I think there's several town Facebook pages that would suffice. There's one, one for more town departments. There's one for just general town community. There's one for the schools. So, I mean, I think there's enough Facebook pages out there.
Yeah,
Trying to build
Okay.
a membership on a new Facebook page in this short a period of time really is counterproductive. There's, it will reach more people if we use the existing ones.
I agree. I just thought it was worth asking the question rhetorically almost.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. And I think
Greg, we're getting some comments from the town of Lunenburg in the chat. So the homepage on the town website, it does have the
okay,
information.
great. Okay,
But maybe we could have even the town of Lunenburg, that Facebook page, just publish this link. That would be.
I think, Brian, I think you and maybe a few other members, suggested a couple of direct connections that we have with the administrators of those pages a meeting or two ago. So
Yeah, so I had written down some Facebook pages that we could, or groups that we could share to. Some that I had written down were the Lunenburg Uncensored. Literally, they're not going to really censor you. So that would share it with Lunenburg. You have Lunenburg Politics, because it is political in the town. Lunenburg Town Elections, I know they'd probably be pretty willing because it was part of the town meeting.
yeah, that's
The Lunenburg
does
Math Group, and then there's a Lunenburg Independent Group, which I think, again, even if they blocked it and didn't share it, I think you're going to get it at least out in some of those groups. But I doubt they're going to censor it.
I mean, I think we just give information. We don't want to, I don't think my opinion anyway would be not to give opinions.
Exactly. I think no conversation, just put the information out there. And if there's any questions, if at all, I would just direct them right to the committee.
Come to a meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, come to a meeting, exactly.
Be bold.
Yeah. Okay.
Let them hash it back and forth, and at least in the back of our minds, we'll know what they're thinking,
Well, yeah.
but not get involved in the conversation.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I don't monitor a lot of those sites.
I
Intentionally.
think you want to avoid the open meeting law and not have those conversations.
Yeah. I just don't personally monitor them for, I don't know, for whatever reason. So if, to the extent that we have it on there in this lively discussion, I won't be able to comment on it, but I guess maybe some of us will, so. But yeah, whatever we do, it needs to be in a public meeting, not online. That's my sense. The members of this committee should just be disseminating, be very careful just to be giving information and not narrating or editorializing online, unless we're at a public meeting. That's my opinion.
I agree.
That's the way to handle it. That's
Yeah.
the appropriate way to handle it.
Yeah.
So did you want me to share the information to those?
I'd say so,
That
Brian.
link?
I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
If,
I just don't want to do it
anything-
without permission of the.
No, I think that's fine. I think we, more information we can get out on across whatever media exists currently is good.
As clerk, I'll take that duty on.
You're the man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
That'll also save multiple postings going onto the same pages, because I've got access to all of those as you do, all the ones you have on the list. If I were to do it, I would do the same thing. So if you're doing it, then we won't throw it up there 3 times in one day on the same page.
Right. Okay. And then, yeah, feel free to post meeting dates and all that stuff. I mean, get people out there, All right. Anybody else on community outreach?
I think we don't need to set any date today, but once we get close to the end of the series of meetings we just talked about, plug into our schedule a community outreach workshop or something like that, and
Yeah.
advertise the heck out of it and try to get a lot of people on here discussing. And we basically listen to them, not try to answer their questions or maybe give them some basic answers, but to get direct feedback from the public after they've got stuff in front of them.
Okay.
And that'll give us a chance before town meeting to work on those issues.
Okay. That's good. Probably maybe sometime in the February timeframe or early March or something. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody else? All right. Okay, review and approve minutes. Brian submitted 3 sets of minutes. Did everybody have a chance to see those?
I'm not sure if I saw him.
I saw at least one set. I haven't been into my mail since the end of last week, so
Okay. We could table this and just review them and then there's 3 sets. He submitted September 29th, November 2nd, and November 9th in an email yesterday, Brian?
Yes, yesterday.
Could you possibly resend, Ryan, or
Sure.
it's been one of those months.
That's fine. Want to try to do it tonight, or do you want to do it? You want to have time to review it and pick it up in 2 weeks?
I definitely read September, and that was fantastic. A lot of information, well stated, and very accurate as far as I was concerned.
I'm prepared to vote. I reviewed them all. So Dave, it's up to you. No pressure.
No. Go ahead. You guys can vote.
Well, we need you. We need your vote.
Oh, all right. I'm there. Okay, I'll vote.
All right. You want to take a minute, just review it? We can, that's fine.
Hold on. All right, you want to start with September?
Yeah, let's start with September. Does anybody have any comments? And again, a pregnant pause here is not unacceptable, so. Dave, feel free to take a few minutes and take a look at it.
All right, go ahead. I'm okay with September.
Okay, I'll accept the motion then on September or any comments.
I move we accept the minutes for September 29th for the TC Passios Design Committee as submitted.
Okay,
I'll-
is there a second.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call. Dave Passios,
I
Dave Blatt,
Yes.
Brian Layden,
Aye.
and I for me. Okay. Do we want to go for November's too? Let's do it. Let's just get it done, even if it takes
Okay.
to review it.
All
So,
right,
next set is November 2nd. Just give everybody a chance to digest it. If you have any comments, feel free or suggest a motion.
after a quick review, I move that we accept the minutes as submitted for November 2nd.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, Dave Passios,
Aye.
Dave Blatt,
Aye.
Brian Leighton,
Aye.
and an aye for me. And then we have November 9th. So I reviewed these. I didn't have a problem with it. I'll actually make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Okay, it's been seconded by Dave. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Dave Passios,
Aye.
Dave Blatt,
Aye.
Brian Leighton,
Aye.
and an aye for me. Awesome. Thanks, Brian. Look, awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Back to my agenda. Okay, so we discussed future meetings, so we're plugging right along here. So next is any public comment from the public. I don't think we have any public left in the meeting, so I'll open it up to any public comment from the board members, committee members. All right. At 6:33, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call. Dave Passios,
Aye.
Dave Black,
Aye.
Brian Leighton,
Aye.
and an aye for me. All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Night.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
guys.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you.